All right, thanks, guys. Happy Sunday to you. Let's go ahead and start refocusing and dial it back in. Let's begin with the Blazers at the Hornets, 1 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Charlotte. Portland opened the betting as the 2.5-point favorite. Total opened at 228. Since that one opened up, not a whole lot of movement when it comes to this game. We're seeing a little bit of movement toward the under. That moved down to 227.5. So once again, Portland opened 2.5. They remain minus 2.5. Total opened 228 down to 227 and a hook. 70% are leaning Portland, 66% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, Charlotte is plus 120 for some money line cash. Now, Turner and Cantor are listed as questionable for Portland. Having said that, though, the Blazers are a perfect 6-0 against the spread in their last 6 games. 5-0 ATS in their last 5 on the road. They're led by Damian Lillard, who's dropping 26 points per contest. And right behind him is Joseph Nurkic, who's gathering 10.1 rebounds per game. Now, Portland ranks 3rd in the NBA in offensive rebounding. They are also covering 67% of their games as the official road favorite. Now, on the Charlotte side of things, completely different story. They've covered just 8 out of their last 20, taking on teams over 550. They're also ranking 23rd in the NBA in defensive field goal percentage. Their opponents are shooting 47% from the field. Charlotte's also failed to cover in 5 out of their last 7. They're just 1-4 ATS in their last 5 at home, and they rank 22nd in the association in home offensive rebounding. Now, total-wise, Portland's 33% to the over in their games at the current posted total. I'm going to go ahead and lean toward the Blazers -2 and the under 227.5 in that matchup there. And before we go ahead and move on, just want to take a quick timeout and just welcome you to the show. Hope you're having a great weekend. I also want to remind you to check me out at patreon.com/BrockPage. That is my website. We are doing absolutely fantastic in the NBA right now, and we are 4-0 in our last 4 picks. If you want to go ahead and check out my current record, that's a part of the free content. Just go to patreon.com/BrockPage. Link is in the description section below. And if you want access to that daily best play, it's only going to cost you $1.99 a month. It's only going to cost you $2. So each and every day you're not subscribed to that channel, you're certainly costing yourself some valuable information. Now, if you are a current patron of mine and you're watching me right now, I simply cannot thank you enough because it's you guys who make it all worth it. You make it all worthwhile. So thank you so much for joining me each and every day and being a part of my life. All right, let's go ahead and hop back into some more lines and more personal leans. We've been doing great on that Patreon site, but as far as the leans, last couple of days, not so good. So I'm a little bit pissed off about that. I want to get us all back on track. So let's go ahead and slide into our next game. All starts Eastern Standard Time, and we're going to take a look at the Rockets at the Celtics, 3:30 Eastern tip-off in Boston. The Celtics open -3, total open 226.5, and since that one opened up, we're seeing pretty good movement when it comes to the spread and the total. We're seeing a half-a-point fade of Boston when it comes to the spread. We're also seeing movement toward the under when it comes to the total. That line moved down to 225.5. Spread moved down to 2.5. So once again, Boston open -3, down to -2.5. Total open 226.5. Down to 225 even. 54% are leaning Boston, 71% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, Houston's plus 125 for some money line cash. Now, Boston ranks 3rd in points allowed at 106 per game. They also rank 2nd in the association in defensive field goal percentage. We're looking at 44% in that category there. Boston's being led by Kyrie Irving, who's scoring 23 points per game. They're also led by Al Horford, who's bringing down 7 rebounds a game as well. Now, on the Houston side of things, they've covered just 11 out of 30 games on the road this year. They also have a whole slew of guys on the injury report. We have Green, Gordon, Shumpert, and Fareed all listed as questionable or doubtful for tonight's action. Houston also ranks 27th in the NBA in offensive rebounding and 27th in offensive field goal percentage. We're looking at 44% in that category there. Now, when it comes to the total, Houston 6-3 to the under in their last 9. Boston 5-2 to the under in their last 7. I'm going to purchase the half-a-point, slide it down, and take Boston -2 and the under 225.5 in that matchup there. Next game, Knicks, Clippers, 3:30 tip-off in LA. The Clippers open 10.5, total open 230. Since that one opened up, we're seeing movement downward on the spread, downward on the total. -10 on the spread, 229.5 on the total. Once again, LA open 10.5 down to -10. Total open 230 down to 229.5. 58% are leaning Clippers, 57% shaded toward the under. And at the moment, the Knicks are plus 440 on the money line. Now, if you like the Knicks to get the job done on the road, you might not be in too bad of a spot here. They're taking on a Clippers team who's dropped 6 out of their last 9. They're also just 3-6 against the spread in that same category. The Clippers rank 28th in home points allowed at 114. They also rank 24th in the NBA in home defensive rebounding. Now, the Knicks on their side of things, they've actually won 2 out of their last 3, and they're 3-2 against the spread in their last 5. They're being led by DeAndre Jordan, who's bringing down 12 rebounds a game. He is listed as probable for tonight. He is nursing a little bit of an injury there, but he has been listed as probable for tonight's action. They're also led by Emmanuel Mudiay, who's scoring 15 points per contest. New York is 9-5 against the spread in their games that tipped off at the current number. And when it comes to the total, New York's just 33% to the over in their games at the current posted total. Clippers 3-1 to the under in their last 4. I'm going to lean toward the road dog in this one. Not a popular play here. Probably going to get roasted for this one, but I think the Knicks can keep it within double digits. Give me New York plus 10 in the under 229.5 in that matchup there. Next game, Hawks Bulls. 3:30 tip-off in Chicago. The Bulls open 4.5. Total open 229 and a hook. Since that one opened up, we're seeing movement downward on both the spread and the total there as well. Total moved down to 229. Spread moved down to 4. So once again, the Bulls open 4.5 down to -4. Total open 229.5 down to 229 even. Right now, the Hawks are plus 150 on the money line. Atlanta has Prince and Spellman listed as out for today's action. They also have Carter, Len, and Werder listed as questionable. And John Collins is doubtful as well. So certainly a whole slew of guys listed out for Atlanta today. Very jam-packed injury report for them. Atlanta's also just 3-7 straight up in their last 10. They failed to cover in 5 out of their last 6, taking on Chicago. The Hawks rank dead last in points allowed. They're averaging 119.1 points per contest they're giving up per game. They also rank 26 in defensive field goal percentage, 47.4% in that category there. Now, Chicago on the other side, believe it or not, they rank 9th in the NBA in three-point shooting. They're also 5-1 against the spread in their last 6. They're led by Zach LaVine, who's dropping 24 points per contest. Lauri Markkanen's right behind him with 20 points per game as well. Chicago is 2-1 against the number, taking on Atlanta this season. Now, total-wise, Chicago's 80% to the under in their games at the current posted total. Atlanta 2-1 to the under, taking on Chicago. Give me the Bulls -4 in the under 229 in that matchup there. Next game, Timberwolves at the Wizards, 6 o'clock tip-off in the nation's capital. Washington's -1.5, total open 237.5 up to 238. 53% are leaning toward Washington, 67% shaded toward the under. And at the moment, the T-Wolves are plus 105 on the money line. Now, if you like the T-Wolves in this spot here, they have dropped 7 out of their last 8 straight up on the road, just 1-7 straight up when traveling. They're also covering just 45% of their games as the official road underdog. Minnesota ranks 30th in defending the 3-ball. They also rank 24th in road points allowed at 116 points per contest. Now, Washington on their side of things, they rank 4th in home scoring. They're averaging 117 points per contest in that category there. They're also 17-12 against the number on their home court. Washington's being led by Bradley Beal, who's scoring 26 points per contest. John Wall is right behind him at 21 points per game. When it comes to the total, Minnesota's just 25% to the over in their games that tipped off at the current posted total. Give me Washington -1 after buying the half a point in the under 238 in that matchup there. Next game, Magic. Cavaliers, 6 o'clock tip-off in Cleveland. Orlando open 6, up to -6.5. Total open 215, down to 214. 70% are leaning toward Orlando, 83% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, Cleveland's plus 215 for some money line cash. Now, if you like Orlando in this spot here, might not be a bad spot for you to pick. They're 8-2 straight up in their last 10, 8-2 against the number in that same category. The Magic are 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 on the road. They're led by Nick Vucevic, who's scoring 21 points per contest and bringing down 12 rebounds a game. The Magic also rank first in road points allowed, giving up just 105 points per game on average. Now, Cleveland, on their side of things, they rank 29th in scoring. They're averaging just 103 points per contest. They're also just 4-14 straight up in their last 18 at home. Now, scoring-wise, we're looking at a Cleveland squad who's 6-1 to the over in their last 7. Orlando 9-2 to the over in their second of a back-to-back. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the hook, slide it down, and take Orlando -6 in the over 214 in that matchup there. Next game, Raptors at the Pistons. 6 o'clock tip-off in Detroit. Toronto opened 5, down to -4.5. Total open 218.5, up to 219. 65% are leaning Toronto, 59% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, Detroit's +165 on the money line. Now, if you like the Pistons at home, they have successfully covered the number in 7 out of their last 10. They're also 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 at home. They're led by Blake Griffin. Excuse me, I couldn't even read my own handwriting there. Led by Blake Griffin, who's scoring 26 points per contest. Andre Drummond's right behind him with 18 points a game, and he's also averaging 15.1 rebounds per contest. Unbelievable. Detroit ranks 3rd in home defensive rebounding and 1st in defending the 3-ball. Now, Toronto's failed to cover in 6 out of their last 7. They're also just 4-11 against the spread in their last 15 on the road. This Toronto team also is just 4-10 against the spread, taking on teams between 450 and 550, and they've covered just 5 out of their last 18 games as the official road favorite. Now, total-wise, Toronto's 67% to the over in their games that tipped off at the current posted total. Detroit 8-2 to the over in their last 10. I'm going to purchase the half a point, slide it up, lean toward the home underdog, and take Detroit +5 in the over 219 in that matchup there. Next and final game for our NBA slate, it is going to be Memphis at OKC. 7 o'clock tip-off at OKC. The Thunder opened 11.5 down to -10.5. Total open 215 up to 215 and a hook. 80% are leaning Memphis, and at the moment the Grizzlies are +570 for some money line cash. Now, Memphis does have Anderson and Jackson still out indefinitely. OKC on their side of things might be a little bit more devastating. Paul George listed as doubtful for tonight's action. Memphis is 2-1 straight up in their last 3. They've successfully covered the number in 2 out of those 3 games as well. They're being led by Mike Conley, who's scoring 20 points per contest. Memphis is covering 60% of their games that tipped off at the current point spread. Memphis ranks 1st in points allowed at just 103 per game. They also rank 4th in defensive field goal percentage, 44% in that category there. OKC, well, they haven't covered a game in a while. 0-6 ATS in their last 6. They've also dropped 5 out of their last 6 straight up. OKC ranks 25th in home defensive rebounding and 28th from the stripe. Now, total-wise, Memphis is 4-3 to the over in their last 7. OKC 60% to the over in their games on their home court. I'm going to purchase the hook, slide it up, and take the road dog in this one. Give me Memphis +11 in the over 215.5 in that matchup there.